Hi everyone, welcome to the Don't Be Spooked by ENS webinar. We are going to unmask ENS and reveal the less spooky side of it. So we're going to let people trickle in here for a minute. So we got more people trickling in, so we're going to give people just a minute to join here. All right, in the meantime, we have a poll being launched. And so go ahead and take a minute to put in what do you think, which of these do you think falls into ENS, and let us know what your thoughts are. A few different scenarios. Answers coming in. So if you're new, we're taking a quick poll before we get started. Which of these would fall into ENS? Is it that Joe is a full-time teacher but does landscaping on the side during his off summers or his summers off? Or is it a vacant single beach rental located in Louisiana that needs property coverage with wind? Or could it possibly be a 24-hour diner in downtown Chicago that needs GL and property? Or could it be all the above? Or none of the above? So drop your answers and we'll get started. All right, it looks like we've got quite a few people who have joined. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and fill out that poll and we'll get started here in probably about 30 seconds. All right, we've got some answers across the board, and we've got a few here for the vacant single beach rental located in Louisiana that needs property coverage and wind. However, the answer is, drumroll, all of the above. So good. We had 67% get it right with all of the above. Well, awesome. With that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So with us today, we have Catherine Cole. She is an ENS expert. She's an account manager here at Pathpoint. And then we've got another ENS expert. We've got Johnson Stakely on. He is a senior underwriter operations manager, and he'll be on at the end to answer all of your questions. So feel free to use that Q&A feature in Zoom and drop any questions you have, and we'll have a live Q&A here at the end. And then I am here. I'm the events marketing manager here at Pathpoint, and I'm just here to make your Halloween fun for you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Catherine.
Great. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I appreciate you spending part of your spooky Halloween with us. So to start off, I've got a very scary question for you all, and that's how comfortable are you to write small commercial E&S? And a follow-up to that is how comfortable are you with Pathpoint? There are no wrong answers, just curious as to how we're feeling out there. Great. So those come in. It looks like we've got a mix of both. So I will go ahead and keep on it. We're going to discuss first what exactly is excess and surplus business. Oh, I should probably talk to you about what we're going to fill out or what we're going to talk about the entire time. And that is, what is excess and surplus business? What is it not? Some reasons why agents may avoid writing it. And then we will talk about how Pathpoint can help with some of those reasons as to why agents scare away from ENS. So let's get started. Great. So what is excess and surplus business? You might have heard it referred to as surplus lines, ENS, non-admitted business. They all mean the same thing. Don't feel like that term is going to trip you up too much. Just know that we're going to talk about insurance as two main buckets today. One of those is admitted, and one of those is excess and surplus or non-admitted business. So you might be used to dealing with admitted business that you can easily go online or to your, marketing representative and find uh, coverage just for your specific insureds. Go online, bind, and issue a policy. Well, that is kind of where the admitted market stops. So you might have some insureds that just don't fit into the boxes of where the admitted market wants them to. The nice thing about excess and surplus is that because as um, it, it's not as exact, or coverage forms aren't exact as they are in admitted markets. There's greater flexibility in rating, and so there's uh, ability for insurers to change and apply rules to be able to more freely price and capture insureds. So insureds that can't find a home in an admitted market can in a not admitted market. And because insureds aren't as beholden to rates or forms, you can go ahead and find coverage for those insured that just don't fit into the admitted market. If you've done this before, you've probably dealt with a MGA, an MGU, or a wholesaler that holds a surplus lines license so that they're able to access non-admitted carriers. And what E&S is not. So let's move on to things that might be associated with excess and surplus, but are in fact not particularly correct. So some may assume that there's lower rated carriers in E&S, and that's why they're not part of the admitted market, that it's a bad alternative to admitted market, and that it is, you're going to find poorer coverage in E&S rather than in admitted, or this just for catastrophic areas such as Florida wind or earthquakes or insureds with high wildfire scores. So there's plenty of I would say everyday businesses that you would encounter, everyday risks that you would encounter that fit into an E&S market, and where coverage is better found for them and can be more personalized for those risks rather than in the admitted market. Now let's move on to see some reasons why agents avoid E&S. The overwhelming answer is that they veer away from E&S because they can't tell their insureds that it's protected by the state guarantee fund, which it is not. But that's why it's important to find brokers and wholesalers that deal with carriers who are A-rated and who have a good financial backing behind them. So you may have heard of some rating services like AM Best. Those services are the ones that are going to talk about how solid a carrier is in terms of finances for the E&S market, and rate them based on how well they could go ahead and pay out claims should a large amount of them occur at one time. So some things about a state guarantee fund, it usually has limits that are below insurable value, and it could take years for an insured to receive a payment for a claim from a guarantee fund. And as we've all seen in the news recently, there's many admitted markets that are currently in liquidation or currently in danger of being insolvent. So that's, while those might be some, you might rely on an admitted market to take some of your risks, sometimes E&S can actually be a more solid answer for those risks than a typical admitted market, especially in the current climate of insurance. Another one is that there's a lot of regulatory concerns when it comes to E&S because it's not the same process as going into an admitted market and getting a policy. There's a lot of what I would assume agents would see as red tape when trying to place business in an E&S market. There's disclosures, there's diligent effort forms that need to be filled out, there's taxes and filings, and again, that surplus lines license needs to be held by an intermediary. So these are just some of the things that could scare you away from writing E&S business, but there is a solution to that. and that's where Pathpoint comes in. So Pathpoint was created on the entire basis of trying to create a admitted admitted experience in the E&S market. So the common objections to E&S are on the left side of the screen here, and how Pathpoint cures those ills is on the right hand side. So just for a few examples, it's hard to quote E&S business because it takes longer. You have to send it to a broker or a wholesaler, and then they have to approach their carriers and get a quote back, and that can sometimes take weeks to get a quote back, and by then the insured might have moved on or tried to find a quote elsewhere. That's where Pathpoint comes in. We make it simple. We turn around quotes instantly and can provide bindable quotes on our platform. Or if they're referred to underwriting, they're looked at in a matter of 4 hours and then have a very quick turnaround time on the back end of that. The E&S is time consuming. That's one of the common objections. It's not with Pathpoint. You can go online, you submit one submission, and that will submit it to a number of our markets depending on the line of business, and you can get back instant quotes in real time. So the other one that I would point out is agency bill nightmares. I would not want to be an agent on the hook for any insurance premium. And that's one of the reasons that Pathpoint does insured or direct bill because most E&S markets are only agency bill. So we've tried to not be as scary with that, with those billing questions, since we send a link directly to the insured for them to pay, and nothing is bound until that insured has made payment. Great. So I want to talk a little bit more about why you should be writing small business excess and surplus, and particularly should be writing it with Pathpoint. So you can leverage your services and do a one-stop shop with us. Say you have a contractor that needs some GL and needs some property for a building that they occupy. Well, we can find that, and we can find it with a number of different markets, so that you might receive back a Westchester GL and a VAVE property quote, because those were the most competitive quotes we could offer, so that you're not beholden to just one carrier, as you most likely would be with most other brokers. You can protect your E&O by working with Pathpoint. As I said, there's so many forms and taxes and filings that go into each part of excess and surplus business, and that's why Pathpoint has a end-to-end e-signable binding experience. You do all of the signatures online if you'd like. There is an option to download and sign them should that be more helpful to the insured, but Pathpoint provides that digital experience should you take advantage of it. And that way, you know that taxes are filed, you know that all the forms that you would need for that risk are in place, and we have everything that we need to be able to bind and issue that policy. Grow your book. So with Pathpoint, if you're looking for, again, say just a GL with a contractor, you can upsell that by clicking 2 extra buttons and getting an excess quote. Or if you have a small business that you're looking for property coverage on, a few more clicks will get you a cyber quote for them. And you can present those alongside with really little to no time on your part to be able to receive those quotes back. And it's faster and easier than ever. I can't imagine I couldn't have imagined a couple of years ago going online, being able to submit a tree trimmer and getting back multiple bindable quotes that I can then present to an insured and just bind that same day. It's a great way to do business, and that's why we're here to help. Okay, so if you're interested in how to start, selling excess and surplus business, if you're, maybe you've seen a few, but you're still a little shaky, I would direct you, obviously I'm a little bit biased, but I would definitely direct you to use Pathpoint. You can submit and bind business, like I said, on our portal. you do what we prompt you to do. There'll be kind of nudges throughout your experience with Pathpoint to be able to answer any questions or maybe help you select the right class code or the correct, property coverages that you're looking for. So just follow those prompts and you'll be fine. Utilize the chat. So we have an online chat that is available should you just have a couple of questions when you're either registering, submitting business, or binding. You'd be talking or chatting with a real person. And then to stay informed on marketing and products. So our marketing team does a phenomenal job of kind of seeing what is on trend for questions our agents are asking or concerns in the marketplace. They really try to keep you up to date with different events, as well as our monthly newsletter called Pathpointers. So if you have any questions, you can always keep an eye out for those and see what's coming up and how you can stay in contact with Pathpoint. And then keep in touch with your account manager. So our next slide should show you a few, later on slide we'll show you our account managers and their contact information and how to get a hold of them. But for now, we're going to talk about recent wins, which is even a little bit more fun here. And that's going to be just a couple of binds that we've had in the past month. And these are going to be the class description, the premium, and then the time from quote to bind. And those are real statistics that from the minute that the agent stepped into the Pathpoint system, quoted and bound, and got that payment link out to the insured, that's the amount of time that it took between them. And I think anybody who is seasoned and has written a lot of excess and surplus business can say that those are some phenomenal statistics. And this will keep you kind of top of mind when it comes to insureds and needing, immediate insurance and needing it bound. And then that way you can issue your COIs and get, people to work who are in need of that kind of quick turnaround that Pathpoint can help with. This also lowers your cost when it comes to time and energy. It's much easier to put in one submission rather than to shoot off as many, carrier supplementals as your broker can get you to fill out. This is a lot easier, a lot more simple, and it's really the future of excess and surplus business. Awesome. So a little bit deeper dive into what Pathpoint does. We have a number of verticals that are on the left-hand side there, from contractors to excess casualty, as well as lesser's risk. In the middle there is our lines of business for each one of those verticals. And on the right, you can see our markets. And if you've been in insurance for a minute or two, you probably have recognized some of those names. All of our business is excess and surplus. We don't write admitted business. So if it's with us, it's E&S. Some of these carriers also have an admitted product, but we have their E&S products here in the middle, the lines of business. And all of our carriers are A-rated by AM Best. So that they are solid, they have a good financial backing, and that the NAIC believes in them and has looked at their financials thoroughly. Okay, here's the other page I was looking for. So these are our account managers. They're all wonderful, seasoned insurance professionals who can answer any questions you have specifically about Pathpoint, but can also talk to you about coverages for insureds and help you find what you're looking for on Pathpoint and how to submit and bind business. They're great, and feel free to contact them directly depending on your state that you do business in. Wonderful. So now that I'm done with my spooky section, I will hand it over to Johnston for some Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. That was fantastic. So we've gotten a few anonymous questions come through that I'll run through real quickly. And by all means, you guys feel free to utilize the Q&A chat and we can address those as well. First question we have is, do we have a market for vacation or short-term rentals. I know that's become a pretty popular line for us. A lot of admitted markets don't really like to touch that line of business, but we do actually. So we'll both have a property market with Vave, and then we also have a GL market for short-term vacation rentals through Nautilus. We can package those together, use our mix and match option, but it's a pretty competitive line for us. Also, another question that came through is, do we have any distance to coast restrictions for property? Unlike most admitted markets, we actually do not have any restrictions. So we can write up to beachfront with wind coverage, even to 100 plus miles inland. But on that beachfront, it is going to determine, the risk is going to be taken into account, roof age and construction type, but we can write, less than a mile to the coast with wind coverage. Also have a question come in about what are our TIV limits for property coverage. So we can do up to 3 million in coverage per location, per building, and then up to 5 million per entire property coverage schedule. So that's all we have right now. So you guys, by all means, feel free to submit anything that you have questions about.
Awesome. I think that is it for the questions that have come through. So for now, go ahead and you can go to app.pathpoint.com. You can scan that QR code. That'll take you there as well. Head there, see what other information we have there if you have any questions, or of course, reach out to your account manager, as Catherine said. There's also just a general inquiry email you can reach out to at any point. We have a whole team of people that are here to support you and help you. E&S can definitely be spooky. You can definitely be scary. But we are here to make it so easy for you and really make it a tool for you to grow your books, to bring in more income. So if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. We did launch a poll. I see a bunch of you have already answered. And so thank you for answering that. If you haven't, go ahead and answer. But otherwise, we will catch you guys next time. Keep an eye out for more webinar events that we have coming up. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Halloween.